Echo doesn't want to. You don't want to, do you? You'll go through if I go through. Well, there's a big hole. That looks like a grenade pin. It's M42A1 grenade, hand is T42. And this all fits with the time period of the history of this place. If I was a snake, I think I would want to be under this trash can lid. Now these ones, they put rocks on top of them. What's the story behind that? Someone had to come out here just for that purpose, to ditch their evidence. I'm going to call that evidence. I want to show you guys something really cool that I found today. I have been to this place before, but I've never seen anything that's this awesome. This is a super cool find for me. You can see our rig right back there. This is a really cool spot. Let me show you what I found. Obviously, somebody has been out here metal detecting, and these are just the coolest trinkets, and this is all going to give you an idea of where we are here as we kind of sort through these things. These are buttons from some sort of jacket, and then you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are some sort of ranking pins, and there's a few here. Looks like that one's broken. There's another one right here with a little pin on the back. A lot of buttons. They all pretty much have that same pattern on them. Here's a round, I don't think this is vintage, but it's still got the bullet in it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not vintage. Here, this has got to be vintage. Actually, I don't want to touch that too much because I think it's lead. It says Ipana toothpaste. Massage the gums. Now we're getting into some cool stuff here. Barrington Hall soluble coffee. So it's a little tin for coffee, obviously. Some scissors. All right, let's see. This, I was looking at this, I was like, oh, that looks like a grenade pin. But it does look newer. I mean, it's not rusty at all. I guess maybe it's aluminum. And I thought, well, no, it's not a grenade pin. It looks like it's in too good of condition. So I could be wrong. Maybe that's not what it is. Put down in the comments if you know what that is. But then I saw this, and I was like, oh, it's maybe it is a hand grenade. It says M42A1 grenade hand container. That is cool. We got a couple other things here. We'll get to the good stuff here in a second. That's from a tin can, like a key for a tin can. This says soap on it. Some sort of metal soap container. And then here, a couple dog tags. And this will give us an idea, give you guys an idea of the year that we're dealing with here. When all this stuff was original. See, it says T42. And this all fits with the time period of the history of this place. T43. And these are two separate halves. It's not from the same dog tag, but here's a complete tag. I mean, this is just history. I dig this stuff so much. Let's get a good look at this here. You can see it says T41 to 43. John Ramsey, Frank Ramsey. You guys let me know why there's two names on there. I have an idea, but I could be wrong. Kansas City, Missouri. Very cool. So this is the time period that we're dealing with here. 41 to 43. So Dodger's chilling in the trailer. I took him on a little walk today already, and you know, he got a little tired, so I put him in there. We're gonna trek the furthest I've ever trekked out here before. It's probably about 1.5 miles, and I really don't know what we're gonna see. So hike with us, come on a little adventure. I'm gonna show you the kind of thing that I do as a full-time RVer. I wanted to mention, before I forget, if you guys could do me a favor, look down below, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you. And if you're not subscribed and you want to see more of our videos, then hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on, so that way you don't miss any of our videos. We're putting out 3 videos a week, showing you how the dogs and I live nomadically, traveling full-time in an RV. And right now we're on Bureau of Land Management land. This is public land. It's free camping for 2 weeks. We're only going to be here for a couple days. I want to show you guys whatever we happen to find out here. The one thing I'm noticing out here is it's a pretty good temperature, but we're completely exposed to the sun out here. And there's really not much shade. When we get out into these washes, there are some trees, so we might have to kind of huddle up under one of those trees for a bit to get some shade, because the sun is intense, especially when you're hiking around in it. So I'm breathing a little bit heavy, sweating a little bit, especially on my back where the backpack is. You start sweating there. Echo does pretty good in the heat, but he is panting. Now where we are right now is about the limit of what I've explored out here. If you go back and check some of my other videos, you'll see we've done a lot of exploring, but kind of on the other half of this area. And it stretches for a couple miles. And then we've gone way out into this crazy wash out there. We saw some weird, like a weird structure, which I think was a feeding pond or something, but it was just out in the middle of the wash. So check out my past videos of this place. I'll have links to them down in the description, and you can learn more about this place. But for this video, I think we're going to keep it kind of a mystery. I'm not going to go into the details of the history. You know, we saw what year we're dealing with here. And let's go see this big structure. This is the biggest structure that I've ever seen in the area here. And then we're going to be in completely new territory for myself. I got a little bit of water in the pack, should be enough. Well, I hope it's enough for me and Echo. And you can see what we got here. Well, I mean, we're out in the middle of the desert. There's not much out here, except just the remnants. Historical remnants. And everything I see, I just kind of wonder if it's part of the history. Like this weird colored stone in here. But this is a big reservoir. Echo's been down in here before, so he's familiar with it. Echo, go on. Go on, you're free. Free. Come on, Echo, let's go down. Let's go down. It's steep. It's really steep. It's a little less steep in the corners over here. That's really where I should be going down. Come on, Echo. It's dry. The last couple times I've been here, there's always been water in here. It's about 3 feet deep down there. And I bet if you dug down there, you got to find something. And, you know, the scary thing is it could be like a lot of bones. Certain animals end up down there for whatever reason. I don't think they can get out. And I've never seen a date marker. You know, a lot of times when they build cement slabs like this, they mark it with a date. But I've never seen the date here. But from what I know about this place, the early 40s, is that's when this was built. Oh, there's lizards out. I guess I should be watching for rattlesnakes. If there's lizards. So we're gonna head out in this direction, like I was saying, about a mile. And I have no idea what we're gonna find. Found a little bit of shade here. This will work just fine. You know, that's all we need, really. Just have a sip of water. The good thing about drinking water is it lightens the load that I'm carrying in my pack here. Now you can see where we're hiking around, it's just open desert. It's flat, very flat. There's not really a lot of trees. Echo. Water. And so you might ask yourself, why would you camp in this kind of place? It's so desolate. And it is. It feels that way. It feels really desolate. The cool thing about this place is the history. So it has that extra, you know, that vibe that thousands of people have been here before. 80 years ago. I'm sure before then there were people here too, but you imagine what they were seeing, and they were seeing exactly what we're seeing. You know, the washes might have been in different places a little bit, but the landscape would have been exactly the same. And I feel like as we keep hiking down here, we're going to see how the people that were here, how they actually changed some of the landscape in really minor ways, but the signs that people were here, well, we should be able to find those. And that's one of the common questions I get is, do you get bored? In a place like this, you know, I think that would be an even bigger question. Do you get bored in a place like this? You know, I got my dogs. We got all kinds of hiking we can do. As long as I have a little bit of gear, you know, a good hat, some water, my pack. I got binoculars in here. I got you guys. I don't get bored. And, you know, that's just a personality thing. I think some people would be here and they would get bored. You know, you're living in the city, you're going to the hustle and bustle. You're experiencing all kinds of input. And a lot of times it's dramatic input, loud input, noisy input. You'll have these constant thoughts going in your head about those people over there, that vehicle that's driving by. You'll have thoughts of fear, excitement, curiosity, And the truth is, I get all those feelings out here in a place like this. It just takes a little while and you get used to it. You know, the dogs and I, we've been on the road for so long that I'm very used to it. I feel really at home here. I mean, if I had my tent, I could just set up camp right here. This is a perfect spot for camp. And it just becomes a matter of how much supplies you have. That determines how long you stay here. And I suppose after probably a couple weeks in a tent here, then I might say, well, it's time to move on. Like I've kind of explored as much as I can explore. But I might only need to travel another, 5 or 10 miles and I'll be in a totally different area. And then it's a whole new adventure. I get that question a lot. Like, do you get bored? And do you get lonely too? I get that question. We'll talk about that later. You can see Echo just kind of makes himself at home. He's very comfortable out here too. That makes me happy. You do like it here, huh, Echo? What'd you find, Echo? This guy just did a perfect handstand as soon as Echo came by. And I'm sure if I touch him, he's gonna make my fingers stink. It's pretty big. These roads are pretty washed out. It's kind of crazy. There's all kinds of holes out here. I don't know what lives out here. We actually don't hear any coyotes. I'm sure there's coyotes all over, but I haven't seen any coyote prints. I don't know what lives in there. And in fact, that may just be structures made by the wind and the water. And I have seen a few big hoof prints. But now that I think about it, I haven't seen any deer scat and definitely no elk. I don't think this is elk territory, but I've seen some prints that look like they were big deer, I guess. So I've got my eye out because I don't want Echo to chase anything. He has his tracker on and it works great out here. I checked it. In fact, I even charged it this morning or last night. Well, I think it's shout out time since we're just kind of hiking here, and I guess eventually we'll get to the end of this road and then I'll take a turn. And these roads, I mean, it's kind of like a neighborhood. The way the roads are laid out here, it's like in a grid pattern. So there's plenty of roads for us to check out, but not a lot to see right now. So I wanted to thank Debbie Hersko and Charles, as well as David Mears. The three of you sent super thanks a while back, and that's something you can do on YouTube. It helps support the channel. And yeah, it does feel a little weird, when you guys help us like that, but it really helps. It really does help. It helps me and the dogs keep making videos and being able to share them with you guys, as many as we do, because it takes a lot of time. I'm trying to streamline my system, and I've got it down to the point. Whoa. See, that's a 5-foot drop right there where the road is just washed out. And actually, it looks like it goes all the way through. So I bet if I hop down here, we can probably walk right through there or crawl through there. The thing is, like, if you walk across that, it's like a little land bridge right there. And especially if you drove over it with a vehicle, then you could definitely collapse it. Oh yeah, wow, that's cool. Should I go through there? I guess I should. I think I should. Just because it's there, I should do it. Okay, come on, Echo. Down here. Down here. Come on down. Come on down. You first. Echo, go on. You first. You do the safety check. Good boy. Yes. Any snakes in there? Shoot, there could be snakes in there or something. If we go fast, though. Shoot. Echo doesn't want to. You don't want to, do you? You'll go through if I go through. And there is a little hole in here, but I don't see anything curled up in it. Now I just have to do it. Since I've gone this far. There's holes in the walls. Oh, there's a big hole. Okay. It's just a bush. The creosote bush. Oh, you did go through, Echo. Good boy. Whew. Echo. Oh, good. Just one of these creosote bushes. It like hit my head when I came out. And I was like, oh crap, it's a snake. A snake landed on my head. So I kind of freaked out. But there's just little holes in there. Kind of like this one. So it is a little weird when you guys help us out. You know, it just feels a little, it's like I'm just really thankful. That's what it is. But it encourages me, you know, not to take risks, but it encourages me to keep making videos, because that means, shoot, you guys like our videos. And, you know, that feels really good. Man, I can't even show you where the trailer is. It's just a little tiny dot out in the distance now. I'm just thinking about Dodger in there. All the way back there. I also wanted to thank Rhonda Wiley, because she sent us a donation through PayPal. All of our links, if you want to help support us a little bit, are down in the description or on the channel page. But I guess what I should say is, you know, check out our Patreon page, because I post a couple videos there every week that you can't see here on YouTube, and just kind of behind the scenes stuff that I cut from the main videos, and updates, things like that. And the membership there is only $5 a month, and that really helps us out too. A lot. That really does help. Okay, now this is a bigger wash. This is where we could see some animals. So I feel like I should just put Echo on his leash right now. He's smelling something. He is smelling something. Now there's stuff up here, but there's a trash can lid. And here's some bones. And that looks like pieces of a skull. And you know what? If I was a snake, I think I would want to be under this trash can lid, So that makes me really want to lift it up and see what's under there. I need a stick. This looks like the perfect stick. Probably if I just tap on it. Echo. Over here. I see there's a little hole right there. It's not snake season right now. The stick is getting shorter, it keeps breaking. I actually don't do this very often. Like lift stuff up looking for snakes. Oh crap, look how short my stick is now. Maybe I should just lift it by this. No. Were you hoping there was a big rattler in there? That would have scared the crap out of me. Echo up. Echo up. Up. I had to take him off his leash to get up this. There's no way for me to get up it except like to sit up here. I only got one hand to do it. There we go. Now this wash looks pretty green, which is kind of nice feeling. A little bit of shade in here. And I got Mr. Echo on his leash just because I'm not familiar with what's out here. And I was just thinking about the last time I was here when I made a three-part series about this place. And we saw all kinds of things. And I was just remembering one of the things that I saw out there towards the main wash. And it was pretty neat. You're gonna have to go watch that video to find out what it was. A lot of times I feel like I find stuff that very few people have seen, at least in a long while. And that always feels really cool to me. It's like I have discovered a secret. And these roads are really washed out. Here someone brought their vehicle all the way here. You can see the tracks in the ground, but then they obviously had to stop and back up. Because it's another 5-foot drop down there. To do these, I take Echo off of his lead, and I'll just let him kind of do his thing to get down there. He is very agile and athletic. And me, I gotta take my time a little bit. I mean, I'm strong too. Come on, Echo. That's lava rock. There is a lot of junk out here, but this, it kind of looks like an old bottle. Listerine. Lambert. Pharmacal. Pharmacal. Yeah, that looks like an old bottle. You guys think that's from the 40s? I kind of do. Put it down in the comments if you think this is from the 40s. You could see here, it's kind of the first signs of a human history of this place. That's a pathway. And I think we're going to be going where it leads here. And I'm getting tired. And I'm hot. I'm surprisingly hot. Got another wash to go through here. Come on, Echo. Oh, wow. Just a big hole. You know what I'm thinking about now is panning for gold. I do have a gold pan, and I've never had any luck with it at all. But there was a cool guy at Hassler's RV Park, and he showed me how he was sifting through dirt that he found in Quartzsite. And so now I feel like, oh yeah, now I know how to do it. But he'd obviously been doing it for a long time. But see, here's the black sand, right, which is heavier sand. Which I haven't seen any of this on our hike today. Maybe I could collect some of this in that bottle, take it back to camp and just see. But then when you find an area like this where all the sediment that gets washed down out of the mountains back there, right there, it just ends up here. And this just fills up with water. It must go down, like the water must keep going down into the earth. Getting that gold fever. Now this is what I was hoping we'd see out here. A lot of rock pathways. You see all that? We got some big boulders placed here for like entryways for vehicles. Probably. Oh, what's this? I mean, that must be some sort of latrine. Echo, you stay here. Yeah, this has got to be, must be a latrine. Hinges, wood, cement, some big nails. Pretty shitty. We got a lot more to see here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to see all of it. I'm really hot and tired. More pathways. Not sure if that's an old bucket or a newish bucket. Now you can see how much rock has been moved here. I mean, by hand, you know, by rakes and shovels and people picking up rocks by hand. Here is, let's see, what does this say? Looks like I'm approaching it upside down. "780 Pat, P-A-T. You guys let me know what you think that means. And it doesn't look as old. So this could have been somebody put it here recently. Here's some wood. And that looks like another latrine from back in the day. Ooh, here's a bunch of metal junk. I always think about snakes when I get around metal, just because I know it heats up in the sun and the snakes love that. I've seen this style before, where somebody took the time to pick the similar colored rocks to do an outline. A lot of work out here, a lot of time. And something like this is really neat. You can see somebody made an actual entryway. That's what it looks like. And this just goes all out there. I can see more out there. Now this is something too. An old pipe, a super thick, heavy duty pipe. It's all chewed up on the ends here. And yeah, there's not really much left, but you can still feel the history. I can totally feel it. Find something like this. I mean, this has got to be original from the 40s. What is that? Got to be careful where you're walking out here. You don't want to run into one of those barrel cactus. Now that's a cool tin can there. Cool shape. Let me know if that's original from the 40s. I think it is. How about this? What's this, an oil can? I'm not sure what that is. And now we've come to present times here. Stash of water bottles. Quite a few. And I'm seeing more trash here in the wash. It looks like somebody came in a rig right here. And then, yeah, you had to stop right here, so they stopped right here. So I'm trying to put this story together. Looks like they dumped their trash here, but then I see these red pieces of trash out here. And this is going to be a mystery that we can all kind of put together here in the comments section. See this? Echo! He's coming. Good boy. He wants to head back to camp. So now what we have is Nike boxes. Now these are biodegradable, so, you know, it's not such a big deal. Nike Dunk Low Retro. So let's put this mystery together, you guys, because that's not the only Nike box out here. You can see, here's one. I see another one over there. Oh, there's several back there. There's one. Let's take a look and see. I think we can determine one thing by the size. If they're all different sizes, then there's a 9, Nike Dunk Low Retro, size 9. If they're different sizes, then this means somebody's probably, I don't know, selling them on eBay or something. I would guess that they're stolen. There's a 9. Same model. Yeah, and I'm looking for vehicles out here just to make sure there's nobody out here. This stuff looks like it's been here for a month or something, but well, that's a size 9. And here's a couple more. Now these ones, they put rocks on top of them. What's the story behind that? $11. And there's another 11. Drink bottle. That's kind of interesting. We are in California. If that gives you any idea of what goes on in California. And there are some newish kind of footprints in here. Wonder if those are Nike Low Dunk Retros. I have a feeling they are. And there's a box here. Interesting. You know, we're pretty far out. You know, we're a mile from the highway anyway. And as far as like a town nearby, you got quite a ways to go. So someone had to come out here just for that purpose, to ditch their evidence. I'm going to call that evidence. I'm seeing some structures here. And we're making our way back to camp. I can see camp off in the distance. You probably are not going to be able to see that. It's like right around there. It's at least a mile away. So what is this? It's a pretty long trough, about 15 feet long. And it has wood in it. Oh, I bet this was, because doesn't it look like there's a square there? And another square here. And probably one here. So it's probably a 4-way latrine. I bet that's what that is. That makes sense to me. And then there's a couple urine samples left behind from the 40s. It does actually look like an old jar. I'm starting to put another mystery together. There's the garbage can from the lid. We found the lid earlier. Now this is a story today about how I keep myself from getting bored. And you know, we didn't see anything that was crazy exciting, but for me, it was super rewarding. I saw so much stuff that I didn't know I was going to see. And that's really all I ever want. And I never know what I'm going to find. And so just finding something and saying, oh, that's what I was going to find today, and now I found it, is super rewarding to me. And now we have that added drama of finding stolen goods, or evidence of stolen goods, out in the wash. I've been finding a lot of these bottles out here And I wasn't even going to record it just because I thought they weren't that interesting, but here's a whole stash of them. They say no deposit, no return. Duraglass on there. I'm pretty sure these are vintage. I did find one green one. Some of them are smooth and some are textured on the outside. The neat thing about an area like this is you've seen all the roads we've been hiking on, and you can camp anywhere out here. And it's just cool to camp like in history. I don't know how old this pit is, this fire pit. Actually, that's probably from the 40s. I mean, that thing is old. You can kind of tell, you kind of get used to the type of rust that's on it. And yeah, that looks really old. So you could camp right there, have a fire right there, where probably hundreds of people have had fires in the past. It's kind of cool. You could just drive down a road like this, and these are not, you know, there's no tracks on them. So if you can get your rig through here, then you can just set up a fire pit or find one, and then there you go. That's your campsite, you know, if you want to have a fire or not. It's just really cool that you can pick your own spot when you're in places like this. And there's so many places you could pick out here. And getting a trailer through some of these roads is not possible. So you're sort of limited that way. Some of the roads, like you've seen, they're super washed out. It's nice to see camp again. We actually hiked a lot further than I was planning. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and Mr. Echo. Once again, I want to ask you guys to please hit that like button. Let us know you're watching. We like to know you're watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And check out our Patreon if you want to see more videos. And we put out a few extra videos there, like I was saying. And it's a lot of fun over there. You can contact me directly on Patreon really easily. You can see I got my solar here charging up the little portable battery, and the panels up on the roof have been charging the house batteries. So I should have plenty of power now. We didn't need to use Echo's tracker today, but one thing I've been doing with it is what I can do, like after this hike, I can get on my app on the phone and I can use his tracker to tell us exactly how far we hiked, and it'll show us the path because it automatically tracks like every few minutes. So if you guys are interested in equipment that we use, anything we use, our hat, our camera equipment, or the tracker that Mr. Echo uses, make sure you check out the description down below because I got a link there to our store on Amazon, and I've listed all the products we use. I got a pretty comprehensive list going there. Just clicking on one of those links helps us out a little bit, and if you buy something, then we get a little kickback from that too, and it doesn't cost you any more money. And we appreciate your support, and hope you join us for the next video. See this dog right here? I almost hit that dog. Then this black dog ran out right in front of me. I hit it. Actually, I can hear somebody calling for their dogs is what it sounds like. So let's go see. But I'm gonna keep my camera on just for my own safety.